The Untold Story of the Easter Bunny, Cottontail's Secret, by Debbie Cole. Way down south in the heart of famously hot Columbia, South Carolina, lived a bunny family unlike any other. There were 14 little bunnies in all, and their names were a mouthful. But our story follows Benny Burrow, a spunky fellow with fur as white as a fresh snowball. Benny and his family lived on Blandling Street, right behind the grand old Township Auditorium. Their house wasn't much to look at, but it was filled with love and the comforting scent of Benny Burrow's sweet potato biscuits. To the right of their house rumbled the Trailways bus garage, its colorful buses coming and going all day long. On the other corner stood Reuben's underwear factory, where grown-up bunnies toiled away, though Benny never quite understood why anyone would want to work with underwear all day. The last corner belonged to a friendly appliance store, the windows displaying shiny new refrigerators and washing machines. For Benny and his brothers and sisters, however, the real treasure was the mountain of cardboard boxes that piled up every week outside the store. Those boxes were the key to their wildest dreams. When Benny wasn't hopping around Blandling Street, he was busy at Taylor Elementary School learning his ABCs from Miss Hawthorne. Miss Hawthorne, with her sharp eyes and even sharper voice, wasn't Benny's favorite, but he loved seeing his best bud, Freddie Cottontail, in class. Freddie always had a joke up his fluffy sleeves. The week before Easter was the most magical time of all. Using the appliance store's cardboard boxes, Benny and his brothers and sisters would create an incredible cardboard kingdom in their backyard. This year, the centerpiece was a towering castle with a drawbridge made from an old ironing board and a secret trap door fashioned from a refrigerator box. One of Benny's sisters, Beatrice, a fluffy bunny with a hankering for pink tutus, declared her cardboard house a grand ballroom. She spent hours twinkling inside, pretending to waltz with an invisible bear prince. Benny's brothers, Barnaby and Brad, weren't quite as graceful. They transformed themselves into valiant knights, guarding the castle entrance with a cardboard armor fashioned from appliance boxes and spoons for mighty swords. Easter morning arrived, and with it came the grand Easter egg hunt. Meemaw and Pawpaw Burrow, Benny's grandparents, had hidden colorful eggs all around the cardboard kingdom. The moment Benny shouted, "Go!" his siblings erupted in a flurry of fur and cottontail, scrambling through doorways, leaping over boxes, all determined to find the most eggs. After the egg hunt came the most unusual Easter dinner ever. Meemaw Burrow, known for her adventurous cooking, had whipped up a feast of fried green tomatoes, creamy grits, and stewed possum. Benny wasn't sure about the possum, but he loved Meemaw's sweet potato biscuits so much he ate 3 helpings. As the family devoured their strange Easter meal, Benny felt a peculiar tingle in his toes. One moment he was there, stuffing a biscuit into his mouth, and the next, he was gone. His plate sat empty on the chair, but Benny had vanished into thin air. His brothers and sisters gasped. Meemaw shrieked, and poor Pawpaw nearly choked on his grits. What had just happened? Had Benny the bunny, who loved Easter more than anything, disappeared without a trace? Benny reappeared with a plop right in the middle of a field of wildflowers, far, far away from Blandling Street. He blinked, his nose twitching in confusion. One minute he was at the dinner table, the next he was here. Where here even was, Benny had no idea. A gentle hooting sound startled him. Looking up, Benny saw a wise old owl perched on the branch of a nearby pecan tree. "Well, hello there, little one," the owl hooted kindly. "Looks like you've discovered your special talent." Benny tilted his head. "Special talent?" he squeaked. The owl hooted softly. "You, my dear, are a disappearing bunny. It seems strong emotions can trigger your ability to poof in and out of thin air. Quite a handy trick, wouldn't you say?" Benny thought for a moment. He did like biscuits, maybe not possum though, and he loved his family, but disappearing, that was something else entirely. Suddenly, a wave of worry washed over him. How would he get back to Blandling Street? Would his family be worried sick? Taking a deep breath, Benny determined to find his way back home. He might be a disappearing bunny now, but he was also Benny Burrow, the bravest bunny on Blandling Street. With a determined hop, Benny focused on the familiar image of his cardboard kingdom and disappeared once more. He reappeared on a hilltop overlooking the twinkling lights of Columbia. Relief flooded him. He was back. But something felt different. He could see all of Columbia, not just Blanding Street. It was as if he could see everywhere all at once. As he hopped down the hill, a giant basket materialized beside him filled with brightly colored eggs. A memory flickered in Benny's mind. Meemaw Burrow reading a story about a magical bunny who delivered eggs on Easter morning. Could it be? Back on Blanding Street, Benny peeked into his window. His family was frantic, searching everywhere for him. Guilt gnawed at him. He wanted to comfort them, but he couldn't reveal the secret. Taking a deep breath, Benny focused on the image of his house and disappeared once more. This time he left a trail of colorful eggs leading from the appliance store all the way to his doorstep. When his family found the eggs, their worry turned to joy. They followed the trail, their cheers echoing through the street until they reached their front porch. There, nestled amongst the last few eggs, sat Benny. Tears poured down Mimi's face as she scooped him up in a great big bear hug. Benny hugged them all back. His heart overflowed with love and the strange secret he now carried. Now, you might think it's crazy that the Easter Bunny could have grown up in Columbia, South Carolina, but trust me, it's true, because I live right next door to Benny Bunny, and every Easter morning I'd see him disappear with a basket full of eggs, only to reappear later, exhausted but happy. He may be a magical bunny now, but Benny Burrow will always be my best friend, the bravest, excellent bunny Blanding Street has ever known. You just wouldn't believe the shenanigans Benny and his brothers and sisters got into before he discovered his Easter Bunny destiny. Remember Beatrice, the ballerina bunny with a hankering for pink? She and Barnaby, the older brother, with dreams of becoming a knight, used to have epic battles over the appliance store boxes. Beatrice wanted them for her grand ballrooms, while Barnaby saw them as the perfect fortress for his cardboard kingdom. Their arguments could get heated, with fur flying and Beatrice stomping her little bunny feet. Sometimes things escalated. Beatrice, pitching a hissy fit, would slam the front door and lock Barnaby out. Of course, Barnaby would retaliate in kind, leaving poor Beatrice standing outside. That's when Benny, the ever-helpful middle child, sprung into action. His small size came in handy. He squeezed through a doggy door Meemaw had installed for visiting squirrels, unlocked the door from the inside, and emerged like a furry Houdini. It would get Beatrice's knickers in a knot and make Barnaby happy as if he had good sense. Then there was that pecan tree, a magnificent giant that stood sentinel in our front yard. Benny and his brothers and sisters considered it their personal climbing gym. They'd scamper up its rough bark higher and higher until Meemaw would spot them from her kitchen window. Her hollering, "Get down from there, you little rascals," would echo through the street. But those bunnies, with their boundless energy, wouldn't listen. Instead, they'd grab their makeshift parachutes, brightly colored umbrellas they'd pilfered from the porch, and threaten to jump. Meemaw, bless her heart, would spring outside, grab a long-handled fishing net she kept just for such occasions, and scoop them up to safety, much to their giggling delight. Looking back, it's easy to see how Benny's childhood adventures prepared him for his extraordinary role. He learned to be resourceful, sneaky at times, and most importantly, brave. After all, climbing a pecan tree with an umbrella takes a certain kind of courage, wouldn't you say? So the next time you bite into a delicious Easter egg, remember, it might just have been delivered by a bunny who once lived in Columbia, South Carolina. A bunny who loved cardboard castles, fierce sibling rivalry, and the occasional daring jump, with an umbrella, of course. Benny Burrow, the Easter Bunny himself. Living on Blandling Street right behind the Township Auditorium wasn't just about crazy Easter egg hunts and Meemaw's unique cooking, though those were pretty good, special too. It was about being in the heart of the action, Columbia style. The Township Auditorium buzzed with excitement year-round. When the Ringling Brothers Circus rolled into town, Ainsley Hall, the empty mansion across the street, became a temporary home for the magnificent elephants. We'd sneak peeks through the fence, watching in awe as these gentle giants munched on hay. Our favorite game involved rolling bright red super balls under the fence. The elephants, with their surprising dexterity, would use their massive trunks to pick them up and crush them with their powerful hooves. That satisfying pop that followed always sent shivers down our little bunny spines. We had to hop one out of there before the attendant caught us. Lots of laughs there. The Township Auditorium also hosted the grand finale of every Columbia holiday parade, from Thanksgiving floats to the fire truck extravaganza on the 4th of July. We had the front row seats to the spectacular, and let me tell you, Blandling Street became a stargazing haven for us bunny kids. We saw James Drury, the handsome hero of the Virginian, right there on the float, taller than life. Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, beamed down at us from a float during a Christmas parade. We even caught a glimpse of Billy Mummy, our favorite lost-in-space castaway, waving from the convertible. And the music, oh, the music. Columbia had a marching band for every occasion. The high school bands with their booming percussion, the university bands with their fancy uniforms, and even the Shriners with their fez-wearing tubas, they all marched down Taylor Street. Filling the air with vibrant melodies, we'd sit on the auditorium steps mesmerized, tapping our little bunny feet to the rhythm. All right, sure, our house on Blandling Street wasn't much to look at, but with the Township Auditorium as our backyard playground in the heart of Columbia at our doorsteps, who needs a fancy house anyway? Blandling Street may not have been Beverly Hills, but for a bunny growing up with a heart full of wonder and the talent for disappearing, it was pure magic. So remember, dear reader, the next time you see a picture of the Easter Bunny, don't be surprised if he looks a little southern. After all, even magical bunnies have a hometown, and for Benny Burrow, that hometown will always be Columbia, South Carolina. Happy Easter!